Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to an early preview of The Dwarves. The Dwarves is an action RPG with pauseable, real-time combat. Think Pillars of Eternity, Tyranny, which just came out recently, or the old Baldur's Gate games. The Dwarves are by King Art, and if you're not familiar with them, they've done Book of Unwritten Tales 1 and 2, which are heavy story-based explorer kind of puzzle-based games. And so this time they're diving into the action RPG genre and kind of adding their own personal touch to the storytelling. I contacted King Art to get a copy for a early preview, so this is it. We're going to take you through, I think, about the first 2 hours of the game, spread out over 4 different episodes, and each episode's going to release kind of throughout the day, so you can either watch them all at once at the end of the day or 30 minutes at a time as we go. Let's go ahead and click on Campaign, and we're going to dive right in. Now, I'm playing on Easy because I was testing on Medium earlier, and the game is actually quite difficult even on medium.
Made us from stone to protect Girdlegard. Against orcs, ogres, and all the other beasts of Tion. We are the guardians of Girdlegard. We are the children of the divine smith. We are the Dwarves.
Now again, if you've played Book of Unwritten Tales 1 and 2, you know that King Art is really good at things like animation quality, and you're going to see that as you play the game. The little cinematics that play throughout the game are extremely high quality. Alright, so pause the game anytime by pressing space, move the camera by using the middle mouse button, and the mouse wheel. So just like, again, Pillars of Eternity, Baldur's Gate, you have your one character here. This is the tutorial. We're going to get more characters later. But you can right-click and you can pause at any time. We're going to click on Leap Attack on the lower left of the screen, or press E, and then select your target on the battlefield. So, where Pillars of Eternity or Tyranny, Baldur's Gate, are focused on small combat of like 6 versus 6, 4 versus 5, things like that, and really focused on you being extremely tactical. Dwarves, or I guess the Dwarves, is very spectacle-oriented. So you're going to see me and a few other Dwarves versus dozens of orcs. See, my goal right now is to kill 60 orcs. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to press E to do Heroic Leap. You can see the targeting reticle, and I'm just going to jump right there. And I knock them back, and we're going to go ahead and attack. Just like many other action RPGs like this, you can see the ability that's happening right here, which is this little circular icon, the HP, and then under here are action points. You earn action points by using certain abilities that will give you some, or just by attacking, you kind of gain them automatically. So, you can see down here we have Mighty Blow, a Mighty Blow that causes a lot of damage to a few enemies and knocks them back, Charge, Assault Run spanning several meters, pushing enemies aside, and Leap Attack, which you just saw. Now, if you notice, none of these abilities have damage numbers, cooldowns, resistances, anything like that. The Dwarves is not focused on that kind of thing, so this game is not really about min-maxing. It's much more focused, it seems to me, on story and spectacle and just looking cool. So we're going to go ahead and do Mighty Blow. And looks like we knocked him down. Nope, that killed him outright. Good. So we're going to click on this one, move in, and kind of just juggle him back and forth. You can see over time you'll see these little blue, you just saw it right there, this little kind of blue shield pop up. That was an ability point. So just got a new ability point. We're going to move up here kind of more towards the other enemies. See if I can't get some attacks over here. Now, I don't know if you just saw that, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it on pause while I charge in here. When the 3 dwarves were attacking the single orc, he was being pushed backwards over and over again. I haven't read a tutorial about that, but I think it's just a mechanic of the game where when one enemy is attacking more than one character, or in your case, one ally is attacking more than one enemy, you actually force them backwards. So you can actually break battle lines or form battle lines if you're able to correctly set up attackers and defenders on specific characters. Now, I don't have enough ability points, so a little tutorial pops up saying the blue little marks under here are your ability points, so that's fine. Your characters automatically regenerate health during battle, so you can kind of see if I just don't take damage for a few seconds, you heal rather quickly. So when I was playing on the higher difficulties, what I would do is I would kind of rotate a few characters in back and forth. So go ahead and charge back in again now that he's back at full HP. Kind of get stuck in You can maybe tell by the aesthetic, but it is very Lord of the Rings inspired. Obviously, dwarves are kind of wearing steel and mithril, and I don't know what the exact metal is called or anything like that. But they're very shiny, of course.
A present from the workshop.
Alright, so we got more of the tutorial going on now. We can go over to the chest. I'm just going to leap out of the way. Go over here and click on the chest.
I'd be happy to pass on this present to the greenskins.
Alright, now I have an usable ability. I have 10 grenades to throw. Now, like I said, this is a preview. This is not the final build. It could change. Everything that I'm talking about could change. But right now, there's no animation for this grenade. It just happens automatically like it was a bonus ability or something. It doesn't take up a cooldown or anything like that. You just kind of throw it, as you can see. So I don't know if that will have an animation in the future or not. But for now, it doesn't seem to. So I'm going to wait for the orc lines to kind of fill back up again. And then I'll throw another grenade right there. Alright, so we're already at 51 out of 60. We just need a few more. So I'll throw more grenades to kind of push the battle along here. I do... Oh, there we go.
My king, what are you doing here?
Gilbert I, the father of the Fifthling clan, has not been on the front line of battle against the creatures of Tion for many cycles. The king surveys the battlefield and the defenders with a grave expression.
We are too few.
This you know as well as he does. But there will be no reinforcements arriving. Hundreds of brave warriors lie inside the fortress dying. The illness is running rampant. It brings weakness and death.
Stay at your posts. Be as steadfast as the granite of which we are made. Nothing can break us. Vrakas is with us.
Now we have two characters to control. We have both the king, Gilbert, and Glandolin. So I was talking about animation quality earlier, and you saw in that little cinematic there, at least what I consider to be extremely high quality animation. Looked extremely good. And I've really found that throughout every single cinematic that I've seen in the game. So I think that's all that experience of Book of Unwritten Tales coming through. There we go. So just like, again, any other pausable action game, you can pause, switch between characters with tab like I'm doing now. And the new character here, Gilbert, he has Cleave, which you saw, King's Hammer, which is very similar to Mighty Blow, and then an AoE heal, which we'll go ahead and use now to heal everyone nearby. So for this particular, I think this will end the tutorial. We need to kill the two ogres here, and then destroy the catapults that are way back in the back there, that are sieging the door back here. You can see they're kind of firing back here. Not exactly hitting their target, but that's okay. So we want to make sure we don't get knocked off the bridge. I have actually recorded this once before, and I played through this scenario 3 different times, and every time one of my guys got knocked off a bridge. So I'm going to try really hard not to knock one of my own characters off a bridge, because that's instant death, instant game over, basically, if you lose any of your characters. So I am playing on easy, as I think I said, because the game is quite difficult. On medium, I think on the 3rd or 4th combat of the game, I was actually losing over and over again. So I am playing on easy, mostly because I'm not really great at these type of games. But this one, it just looks really, really good. So I'm going to push forward. I'm going to try to show you that mechanic where I both attack the same enemy at once to see if I can't force him backwards. So let's both attack this archer here. So you can see he's kind of being forced back. But if we each attack one, a different one, it shouldn't happen. Let's attack that one now. It is kind of as he takes blows. So maybe it's more, the more blows they take, the worse it gets. And the more they get pushed back. I'm not sure. That was Cleave. So we're going to go ahead and jump. Glandolin in, attack that catapult, just so we can kind of move the tutorial along. We're gonna go ahead and do an AoE heal again. There we go.
Be off with you.
And maybe we'll go ahead and move. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's attacking that catapult. Not doing a lot of damage to it, as you can see. Kind of surrounded. I am playing on easy. On medium, when I did this, you would die pretty quickly because he's getting attacked from, it looks like 3 or 4 different angles at once. But it looks like on easy, he can kind of handle that a bit better. So I'm going to kind of push in, try to get to the other catapult pretty quickly. Maybe do a charge in this way. There we go. Knocked them all back. Now that we're past the bridge, I'm not worried about knocking my own characters off. That was rather embarrassing when that happened. Oh, there you go. Catapult's almost gone. We'll hit it with another King's Hammer. Oh gosh, I hit my own character there. Sorry.
These are the ones who attacked us in the tunnels. We suffered great losses beating them back.
Come here and I'll split you like a straw, you treacherous elf.
In his fury, the old king radiates a ferocious power that none of Citalia's children could withstand. But the slight, willowy being sitting astride the shadow mare just grins down, mockingly.
You are mistaken. We are Alpha. We are here to destroy the elves.
All peace-loving beings here in Girdlegard are under our protection, and you cannot open the gate that has barred your path into Girdlegard since the creation of the world.
Not us, but perhaps one of your kind.
This cannot be. Silence, you fool!
Throw something at him.
Vrakas, forgive me for what I am about to do.
Oh, he does. I didn't think he would.
In formation, you must hold them back until I close the gate.
Yes?
Alright, so back into combat. We now just need to wait for the king to close the gate again. You can see him back there. Go ahead and try to do a knock. So I'm going to try to do a leap attack here and knock a few enemies off. No, it didn't quite work. But I did get an execution. If an enemy is knocked over and knocked prone, any damage they take will immediately kill them. So you can use that to kind of immediately kill an enemy by knocking them down and then hitting them again right afterward. And then there are some enemies later on in the game that can only be killed by executions or knockdowns and then executions. So we got 3 runes almost closed. This is, I think, more of just a story tell than anything else. Not a particularly challenging combat section. Oh, please don't run off. Okay, well, it looks like I ran into a wall, knocked my character down here. Please don't. There we go. Leap back into the battle. And then the 5 runes are activated. The door should close, and then we'll move on with the story. Oh, I hit my own dwarf, sorry. Again, there is full friendly fire in this game.
Look at me. I am Syntheras, the Reaper of your death. I will take your life, and the land will take your soul.
Get out of my sight, pointy ears, and let me delight at the closed gate a little longer.
The gate may have closed, but when you rise again from the dead by the power of the land, you will be one of us, and you will open it.
Never! My soul belongs to Vrakas.
No, your soul now belongs to the land, and henceforth you will belong to it forever. Now die, and return. Then hand us Girdlegard.
Kind of brutal way to close out the tutorial by having your character killed. But now we're going to move on with the story. which again, and so far in my opinion, has been very good. So this is 1,035 cycles later. I think cycles are years.
You're a perfectionist, Tungdale Bolafar.
I've got a reputation to uphold. If you can't rely on the metalwork of a dwarf, what can you rely on?
So now we get into a bit of a story, which I'm not going to step through everything, but we just want to push forward here. So what can I do for you?
For me, nothing. It's Lot Onan. He wants to see you in his study.
In your mind, you go through all the recent incidents that might have annoyed the Magus. Apart from a few little squabbles with his famuli, nothing worth mentioning happened since the incident with your beard. You nod.
Okay.
Okay, let's go see what he wants.
Better not keep the Magus waiting.
See you later. There's goulash for dinner.
Alright, so now we have kind of the full inventory available to us. Let me actually go back into the settings. We're going to turn the speech volume up to 100, just so you can hear it. Maybe we'll turn this up as well. There we go. So here's your shop. You can mouse over things to look at different things. We'll look at the anvil.
There was a time when you could hardly lift the heavy hammer. Now you barely notice it anymore, and it feels like an extension of your arm. Smithing is in your blood.
This is where you swung the forge hammer for the first time 30 cycles ago. No one taught you the craft. It was enough for you to watch Lot Onan's old smith at work. Whenever the workshop was empty, you practiced and quickly mastered the craft with ease.
So as you can tell, everything is fully voice acted, and the voice acting so far has been surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. Again, Book of Unwritten Tales had great voice acting, so you can kind of see up here, there's money, and then this is provisions for when we travel, and then, I don't remember, oh, the day, yeah, that's right, first day. And then you can have different options down here. Here's your character sheet, kind of in a way. You have no injuries, different skills. Right now we have Blacksmith's Blow, a mighty blow dealing lots of damage to a few enemies and throwing them back. And then as well as anything that you might be carrying. And then down here you have your quest log, main quest and side quests, and then the main menu down here. So let's kind of just run
Groundling. Come to the kitchen, we need you.
Jolison, a 4th degree famulus and your favorite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
Alright, so let's go check out, see what he wants.
Tungdale! Quick! Or the goulash will get burnt!
You immediately recognize what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting, and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load, and none of the famuli, who feel superior even during kitchen duty, dare do anything. They might burn their fingers, or even get a bit dirty.
Now, I know
Vegetables, bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled with. Many painful knuckles have taught you that she knows how to handle her heavy wooden spoon, and that she may possibly have eyes in the back of her head.
As I was saying, I know that I've referenced King Art's earlier games, Book of Unwritten Tales, several times, but if you've played them, you know that their style of comedy is very subtle, and this game does it as well. So let's go ahead and see kind of what I'm talking about here. We're going to offer to repair the mantle
It'd be a waste of goulash.
or the chain,
And I'm hungry.
and this is how we do it.
Hold this.
There we go. So we basically give the chain to hold this giant pot of food up. And so now we have a few different options. Let's just let's take a moment and examine the bracket to make sure we know what we're doing.
With as much concern in your voice as you can muster, you say,
Oh, no, this doesn't look good.
you're pleased to notice he's dripping with sweat.
I'll get you back for this, groundling!
And so we could talk to him a little bit as well, but let's go ahead and repair the mounting bracket. That way he doesn't have to hold it for too much longer.
You damned freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
What a pair you are!
Alright, so there we go. That's a little bit of humor for you here. Let's see, is this where we need to go? This is the kitchen. Alright, let's go find Lot Onan. There you go. Loading time's taking a bit longer than I thought. Usually the loading times have been rather quick. Oh, okay, it's because we have a
Onan? Frala
cinematic
told
here.
me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Black Saddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure.
What's in the pouch?
What's in the bag?
Magical devices. You better leave the bag closed if you want to avoid any accidents. Dwarves don't really like magic, and magic doesn't like you either.
Rakus gave us so much craftsmanship that there's no space left in our bodies for magic.
Strictly speaking, every time you've been too close to magic, it has ended in catastrophe.
Maybe I'll see some other dwarves.
Perhaps I'll meet some dwarves on my travels.
Yes, perhaps. But don't hold out too much hope. And be careful who you talk to. Not everyone out there likes dwarves.
Yeah, goblins. They abduct baby dwarves and sell them to magi, from what I've heard.
Not the best bit of business I've ever done. But what was I to do? The Longnoses threatened to throw you into the nearest river. Be on your guard. Look after the bag and don't lose it. May Palandiel be with you. And Varakas too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot Onan.
So you can kind of see we've got this society where it seems like most of the races, the humans and the dwarves and elves, kind of live all together and enjoy hanging out and study together. Let's see, we can head out this way. I believe the exit's over here. And you can see we have now in our journal. Talk to him, quest's finished. That's grayed out. And then the Familius rucksack. We need to take it to Black Saddle. Okay, so we can leave.
You're about to dive headlong into your adventure, but then stop yourself.
A journey over 300 miles without provisions and a weapon. I shouldn't forget to think in all my excitement.
Okay, right. So we should probably head back, pick up a weapon, pick up some food. I happen to know where it is, so I will go pick it up immediately. Okay. Seemed to tire out a little bit there, so maybe he's not the best fighter.
I wonder if dwarves ask Rakus for help on long journeys.
The figure on the homemade altar doesn't answer.
If I hurry, I might be back in time for Sonia's birthday.
You're longing to see her face when you give her your homemade present.
A little bit of exposition and backstory happening here. One thing that has really kind of appealed to me in this game is that a lot of the characters are just very quirky and very interesting. And you'll see what I mean as we move forward.
Hmm?
I need some provisions, please.
I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an epic journey. Wait, I've got just the right thing. But make sure the cook doesn't see.
I'm going to Blacksaddle to return a few things to a former apprentice in the Magus.
You pocket the rye bread, sausages, and ham. Enough food for the first few days of your journey.
Maybe I'll meet some other dwarfs.
Perhaps I'll even meet some dwarves on the way.
Frala throws you a cautious glance. It's a tricky subject that you can't help but broach.
There aren't dwarves down here. You're the only one in Idaslane, as far as we know.
I know, but I can't just have been born out of a rock. Somewhere in the mountains, I have a clan. Maybe even a family.
Yes. Maybe.
Frala has reminded you more than once that Lot Yonan wrote to the dwarf clans, and none of them were missing a dwarf boy.
Alright, so now you have some backstory about our main character. Really more questions than anything else.
I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewellery in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter. She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said, but you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I have to go. I've got a long journey ahead of me.
I wish you the blessing of Palandial and Vracus to protect you from all danger in your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
Alright, so we do have that item in our inventory now. A scarf brings good fortune to the wearer. Can't really do anything with it. So we only have enough food for the first few days. Actually, I think it's 17 days because we lose, as you can see there, 1 per day. So let's go ahead and head out of the vault and take a look at the world map. Nope, not yet.
How nice to see you again, Lot Yonan. It must have been an age since we last met face to face.
Nudin, welcome. Please, sit down.
No, thank you, my friend. These are urgent matters, and I don't have much time. You must come to Leos Nudin immediately. The perished land is stirring.
Are you sure? What makes you think that?
I found out about 60 orbits ago, during a visit to the borders. Our magical barriers have weakened and become porous. The Elfar have left their land, and a huge horde of orcs have marched into Girdlegard.
Were you able to strengthen the spell with your magic?
No. I can't repair the damage alone. We need the combined power of the 6. The other 4 are already on their way here, but we need your help too.
I will set off for Parista without delay.
Oh, and as you're coming, could you also take the opportunity to bring back the things that I lent to you?
Of course. I have them already packed in a bag.
Oh, thank you. We'll be expecting you.
Seems like a pleasant fella. Alright, so now we should be able to get a look at the world map. And we can talk about that a little bit. Now, the game is actually a little bit more open than you might expect.
Utterly blinded by the sunlight, you squeeze your eyes tightly shut after only a few steps. The time spent underground has made you so sensitive to light that you're forced to seek shelter in the shade of a mighty oak.
Oh, I had the mouse cursor in the corner there. So there we are. You can see right here, heroes. And you can kind of see the world map. And we can travel along, and our goal is to get over here to Blacksaddle. But we can kind of choose the path that we take. And this is where the game will kind of turn into a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure story, at least here and there. However, we're going to have to cover that in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the very first video of our early preview of The Dwarves by King Art. I think the next episode will probably be up in 2 to 3 hours, so we're going to try to get all 4 videos out today so you can see a couple hours of gameplay and, you know, check out the game. If you had a good time, please consider hitting that like button down on the bottom right there, or subscribing to the channel down on the bottom left to see all kinds of really cool and fun content from me. I'll see you next time.